Aardvark, also known as Orycterapus offer. Where the aardvark gets its name. The name, aardvark, is Afrikaans, and comes from earlier Afrikaans aardvark and means, earth pig, or, gound pig, aard, earth, vark, pig, or, young pig, child, because of its burrowing habits. The name Orycterapus means, burrowing foot, and the name offer refers to Africa. Description of the aardvark appearance. The aardvark has a pig-like in appearance. Its body is stout with a prominently arched back and is covered with coarse hairs. The limbs are of moderate length, with the rear legs being longer than the forelegs. The front feet have lost the thumbs, resulting in 4 toes, while the rear feet have all 5 toes. Each toe bears a large, robust nail which is somewhat flattened and shovel-like, and appears to be intermediate between a claw and a hoof. Whereas the aardvark is considered digitigrade, it appears at times to be plantigrade. This confusion happens because when it squats it stands on its soles. A contributing characteristic to the burrow-digging capabilities of aardvarks is an endosteal tissue called compacted coarse cancellous bone. The stress and strain resistance provided by CCCB allows aardvarks to create their burrows, ultimately leading to a favorable environment for plants and a variety of animals. Where you can find the aardvark. Aardvarks are found in sub-Saharan Africa, where suitable habitats such as the savannas, grasslands, woodlands, and bushland are found and foods such as ants and termites are available. They spend the daylight hours in dark burrows to avoid the heat of the day. The only major habitat that they are not present in is swamp forest, as the high water table precludes digging to a sufficient depth. They also avoid terrain rocky enough to cause problems with digging. They have been documented as high as 3,200 meters, 10,500 feet, in Ethiopia. They are present throughout sub-Saharan Africa all the way to South Africa with few exceptions including the coastal areas of Namibia, Ivory Coast, and Ghana. They are not found in Madagascar. How the aardvark defends itself from predators. Its keen hearing warns it of predators: lions, leopards, cheetahs, African wild dogs, hyenas, and pythons. Some humans also hunt aardvarks for meat. Aardvarks can dig fast or run in zigzag fashion to elude enemies, but if all else fails, they will strike with their claws, tail and shoulders, sometimes flipping onto their backs lying motionless except to lash out with all 4 feet. They are capable of causing substantial damage to unprotected areas of an attacker. They will also dig to escape as they can. Sometimes, when pressed, aardvarks can dig extremely quickly. What the aardvark eats. The aardvark is nocturnal and is a solitary creature that feeds almost exclusively on ants and termites. The only fruit eaten by aardvarks is the aardvark cucumber. In fact, the cucumber and the aardvark have a symbiotic relationship as they eat the subterranean fruit, then defecate the seeds near their burrows, which then grow rapidly due to the loose soil and fertile nature of the area. The time spent in the intestine of the aardvark helps the fertility of the seed, and the fruit provides needed moisture for the aardvark. They avoid eating the African driver ant and red ants. Due to their stringent diet requirements, they require a large range to survive. An aardvark emerges from its burrow in the late afternoon or shortly after sunset, and forages over a considerable home range encompassing 6.2 to 18.6 miles. While foraging for food, the aardvark will keep its nose to the ground and its ears pointed forward, which indicates that both smell and hearing are involved in the search for food. They zigzag as they forage and will usually not repeat a route for 5 to 8 days as they appear to allow time for the termite nests to recover before feeding on it again. During a foraging period, they will stop to dig a V-shaped trench with their forefeet and then sniff it profusely as a means to explore their location. When a concentration of ants or termites is detected, the aardvark digs into it with its powerful front legs, keeping its long ears upright to listen for predators, and takes up an astonishing number of insects with its long, sticky tongue. Many as 50,000 in one night have been recorded. Its claws enable it to dig through the extremely hard crust of a termite or ant mound quickly. It avoids inhaling the dust by sealing the nostrils. When successful, the aardvark's long 12 inches tongue licks up the insects, the termites biting, or the ants' stinging attacks are rendered futile by the tough skin. After an aardvark visit at a termite mound, other animals will visit to pick up all the leftovers. Termite mounds alone do not provide enough food for the aardvark, so they look for termites that are on the move. When these insects move, they can form columns 33 to 131 featuring long, and these tend to provide easy pickings with little effort exerted by the aardvark. These columns are more common in areas of livestock or other hoofed animals. The trampled grass and dung attract termites from the odontoterms, microterms, and pseudacanthoterms genera. On a nightly basis they tend to be more active during the first portion of night, roughly the 4 hours between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. However, they do not seem to prefer bright or dark nights over the other. During adverse weather or if disturbed they will retreat to their burrow systems. They cover between 1.2 and 3.1 miles per night. However, some studies have shown that they may traverse as far as 19 miles in a night. Aardvarks shift their circadian rhythms to more diurnal activity patterns in response to a reduced food supply. This survival tactic may signify an increased risk of imminent mortality. What the aardvark sounds like. The aardvark is a rather quiet animal. However, does make soft grunting sounds as it forages and loud grunts as it makes for its tunnel entrance. It makes a bleating sound if frightened. When it is threatened it will make one of its burrows. If one is not close it will dig a new one rapidly. This new one will be short and require the aardvark to back out when coast is clear. Movement. The aardvark is known to be a good swimmer and has been witnessed successfully swimming in strong currents. It can dig a yard of tunnel in about 5 minutes, but otherwise moves slowly. When leaving the burrow at night they pause at the entrance for about 10 minutes, sniffing and listening. After this period of watchfulness, it will bound out and within seconds it will be 33 feet away. It will then pause, prick its ears, twisting its head to listen, then jump and move off to start foraging. Aardvark burrows. Aside from digging out ants and termites, the aardvark also excavates burrows in which to live, which generally fall into one of 3 categories: burrows made while foraging, refuge and resting location, and permanent homes. Temporary sites are scattered around the home range and are used as refuges, while the main burrow is also used for breeding. Main burrows can be deep and extensive, have several entrances and can be as long as 43 feet. These burrows can be large enough for a person to enter. The aardvark changes the layout of its home burrow regularly, and periodically moves on and makes a new one. The old burrows are an important part of the African wildlife scene. As they are vacated, then they are inhabited by smaller animals like the African wild dog, ant-eating chat, Nycteris the beka and warthogs. Other animals that use them are hares, mongooses, hyenas, owls, pythons, and lizards. Without these refuges many animals would die during wildfire season. Only mothers and young share burrows. However, the aardvark is known to live in small family groups or as a solitary creature. If attacked in the tunnel, it will escape by digging out of the tunnel, thereby placing the fresh fill between it and its predator, or if it decides to fight it will roll onto its back, and attack with its claws. The aardvark has been known to sleep in a recently excavated ant nest, which also serves as protection from its predators. Reproduction and cubs. Aardvarks pair only during the breeding season. After a gestation period of 7 months, one cub weighing around 3.7–4.2 pounds and is born during May–July. When born, the young has flaccid ears and many wrinkles. When nursing, it will nurse off each teat in succession. After 2 weeks, the folds of skin disappear, and after 3, the ears can be held upright. After 5 to 6 weeks, body hair starts growing. It is able to leave the burrow to accompany its mother after only 2 weeks and eats termites at 9 weeks, and is weaned between 3 months and 16 weeks. At 6 months of age, it is able to dig its own burrows, but it will often remain with the mother until the next mating season, and is sexually mature from approximately 2 years of age.